Welcome to Daily Life Connection. Let's continue to explore who God is again today and rejoice in the difference that makes in our lives. I'm going to continue from Psalm 107. We've been exploring that a little bit the last couple of days. And today I want to begin down here at verse 23. Some went down to the sea in ships, doing business on the mighty waters. They saw the deeds of the Lord and his wondrous works in the deep. And he commanded and raised the stormy wind, which lifted up the waves of the sea. They mounted up to the heavens. They went down to the depths. Their courage melted away in their calamity. They reeled and staggered like drunkards. They were at their wits' end. They cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he brought them out from their distress. Well, let's talk today about the God of the storm-tossed. We've looked at the God of the imprisoned and the God of the lost. Today, let's look at the God of the storm-tossed. You know, there's probably nothing much worse than seasickness. I remember years ago down in southern part of Nova Scotia when my mom and dad lived down there, and we were visiting, and one of the men in the church was a lobster fisherman. And he invited my dad and I to go out with him. And it was a fairly rough day. It wasn't a big storm, but it was a fairly rough day, and not all the fishermen were going out. He said, well, it's a short tide. We'll go out just for a short run. So I was delighted and wanted to go. Well, you know, I really enjoyed myself when we came around the end of the wharf and crashed into the first 2 or 3 big waves, and the spray flew in the sunshine, and it was amazing. But it was not very long, and I began to feel sick, and seasickness got hold of me, and I spent most of the rest of that short trip, which seemed to take forever, hanging over the side of the boat. And, you know, that seasickness so incapacitates you that you don't even want to move. And, you know, and think about it. If you're in the middle of a storm, that's when it's the roughest. That's when you're most likely to get seasick. And that's when you're seasick like that, you don't even have the capacity to fight for yourself in the storm. You don't even, you know, if you're in a sailboat, you don't even want to pull up the sails. You don't want to sit in the cockpit and steer. You just want to lay down and die. Well, he's the God of people in situations like that. Sometimes the storms of life come against us, and they make us sick, maybe spiritually, maybe physically, maybe emotionally, but we're seasick in our souls. And it feels like, I can't fight this anymore. I can't fight this battle. I can't row any harder. I can't bail any faster. I can't hoist the sail any higher. I just can't do this anymore. We're just sick inside. All of our energy's gone. All of our drive is gone. All of our passion is gone, maybe. And we just feel sometimes like, I just want to lay down and die. I can't. This situation's been going on for a long time. This storm has been really rough. It's dark. It's nasty. It's wet. It's cold. I'm discouraged. I'm despairing. I may be even fearful. Now, here's the good news. He's the God of the storm-tossed. He is the God of the storm-tossed. And of course, we see it in Jesus in several wonderful stories about how the disciples are out on the lake in a boat rowing, and he comes walking to them in the night, scares them, but at the same time, I love it. I love it when Jesus says, they start crying out in fear, and he goes, I am, which of course is the wonderful name of God, the I am who I am, Yahweh, the God who is, and that's Jesus. Or one other time he was sleeping in the boat with them in another storm, and they feel like they were drowning, and they cry out, don't you even care? And he gets up and rebukes the storm and chastens them for their lack of trusting that he'd get them where they need to go. Here's the point today. He is the God of the storm-tossed. When we're in the midst of those black times, he doesn't matter rough seas. He'll come to us on the rough seas. He doesn't matter being in the boat with us when we're battered and sinking and cold and wet and afraid and whimpering like little puppies, you know. He's not the God. He doesn't abandon us in that. He comes to us in those times, and he's with us, and he speaks into our lives. You know, whether he says in one story, he says, I am. I am here. I'm with you. I am the one you need. I am God. I'm not going to let you drown. I'm not going to let you sink in this. I'm not going to let this destroy you. I'm not going to let it finish its designed purpose against you. I am the God who's with you in the storms. I am the God who will lead you out of the storms. Sometimes it takes a lot longer than what we wish, doesn't it? Sometimes it seems like, God, would you just say, peace be still, and make everything go calm for me here? And sometimes he does that, and sometimes he just walks with us in the water, walks alongside us in our boat, and gets in our boat with us. The God of the storm-tossed. The God who, it's interesting in this passage, there's so much here, but it's basically just talking about people, sailors, who are going about their business. They go down to the sea in ships. They take cargo. They take passengers. They transport it to other countries, other ports. They were just going about their business, but they got in this horrible storm. Well, that's the way it is in life. I just feel to say this to you today. Some of you may be feeling, I'm in a storm, but it's punishment for my own bad choices, my own sins, my whatever. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. God didn't send that storm to punish you. That storm came because we live in a world where there are storms. We live in a world where there are dark, windy, awful moments, and we sometimes get caught in them, even just going about daily life, no fault of our own. And yet, he is the God who is with us in the storm. He comes to the storm-tossed people. And here's a verse that I really want us to hang on to. They cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he brought them out. He brought them out. He is the God who comes to us in our storm-tossed moments of our lives, the dark nights, and he brings us out. Just feel strongly in my spirit today. There are some of us who are going through those kinds of times. And I just want to say today, he will bring you out. He will bring you through it. That is his promise. He's the God who's with you in that dark time. And it may seem like he's asleep and not caring, but it's not true. He cares deeply. You may say, where is he? I can't see him. And he may be walking through the mist and the spume of the waves coming to you. Get your eyes open today. Get your spiritual eyes open today. Look for God in the storm that you're in, and trust that he will bring you out. God bless you. We'll talk again tomorrow.